G'day guys, I'm Camden Carrera, and today for a story time I'd like to talk about the time when I was 8. I was living by the beach when I was about 8, from memory I think. And our house was, so you had the house, you had the beach car park, a bunch of shrubbery bullshit, the sand, and then the ocean, or the bay or whatever. It was pretty great. It was like a swimming pool in your backyard that you could drown in or be killed because Australia, you know. Always fun. But yeah, one day it was, I think they forgot to or not forgot, but didn't dredge the nearby river. And if you don't know what dredging means, it's where they bring in this giant floating machine thing that sucks up on all the mud and sand at the bottom to make sure the boats don't hit the ground as they go into, port. And so obviously all the sand around was very flat. It was nice. It was also a flat, calm day, and you could walk out pretty far in the water. And for little 8-year-old me, that meant, well, the rule was, since I couldn't swim at the time, I still technically can't. I can swim, but I can't float. The rule was I could only go out as far as my belly button. And so I did that, and because of the sandbar, I could go out really far without the water lapping over my belly button. So I was like, oh yeah, this is amazing. I'm going out so far. And as I look back to the shoreline, I'm about 20 to 30 meters from the shore. It was quite a long way out. And as I look back, I noticed that there's things all around me in the water. And as I look around, I noticed that I've somehow walked through a giant swarm of fucking jellyfish. And me at the time, I still don't even know if they're toxic or not, or if they're deadly or something. So I see all these jellyfish, and 8-year-old me goes, oh god, I'm gonna fucking die. So I had to weave through all these goddamn jellyfish while I was basically shitting myself. You might think I'm exaggerating, but they were you had a gap of a meter between each jellyfish, and they were constantly moving, so those gaps were constantly closing, and I had to weave my way through them to make sure I wasn't going anywhere near them. And I'm guessing they didn't appear out of nowhere, and then I just happened to walk through them all, because I wasn't exactly looking down, but I do remember, looking down and being like, oh fuck, oh no. And so I was basically, crying, walking 20 to 30 meters back to the shore, thinking I'm gonna die. And by the time I got back to the shore, I told my parents, and by the time my dad went out there to take a look, they're all gone. So my dad thought I was a liar, and I was like, no, there were thousands of them out there. And to people who also don't believe that, because a lot of people, when I've told that to them, they're like, oh, that's not true at all. If you live in Melbourne, go to Docklands after a stormy day, or when it's very windy. Bring a pair of sunnies, by the way, this will help you. Go right out onto the docks, so right onto water level, and look into the water. You might see 1 or 2 jellyfish. If so, well then that's great, because you can see them, If not, they still might be there, you never know. But one way to definitely fucking see them is by putting sunnies on. I don't know why it works, but once my dad showed me when we were in port there once, and I put these sunnies on, because my dad was like, hey, take a look at this. I put the sunnies on, and there was thousands of jellyfish just under us. If you fell in the water, you'd get stung by 100, just from falling in. It was nuts. And they were a meter under the surface. Some were floating at the top, because, they all have their own minds. But, it was bizarre and scary, and, yeah. That's for the people who don't believe me. Just go to Docklands in Melbourne after, a major event or something. Any change of storm, weather that's dramatic, and you'll find out exactly what I mean. Basically, what happens is when the ship comes through the Yarra River from the bay to Melbourne. Their propellers bring in all the jellyfish from the bay that are at the bottom, or like in the shipping channel. And so they all get sucked into Docklands and into the Yarra River and all that, and they all get stuck in there because they can't exactly get out because of the currents. So there's always thousands of them in there, and it's absolutely bizarre.